Hello, everyone, and happy Labor Day. You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Thomas I. Likeness, broadcasting from our studio in Edmonton, Canada. And tonight we have updates on Eagle News America from several of our correspondents from across the United States. I'm Alan Ramos in Washington, D.C.
President Trump and former Vice President Biden continue their campaign on Labor Day. And President Trump issues proclamation for Labor Day.
Mila Simbulan in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania's eligible workers who are unemployed due to COVID-19 may receive up to $300 weekly benefit.
Carlo Valdez in Union Township, New Jersey, reports on a police chase that proved fatal for one officer. Lori Jarvina in Las Vegas, Nevada, tells us about a new contact tracing app that the state is using in its battle against COVID-19. Jessica Soto in Santa Clarita, California.
A pyrotechnic device at a gender reveal party sparks the El Dorado fire in California.
Plus, we'll revisit nature trails in Maryland and Nevada, and then a visit to Eliana's outdoor kitchen, where we're going to learn to make 3-ingredient Oreo truffles. But first, an overview of how COVID looks now. According to the Coronavirus Research Center of Johns Hopkins University in Medicine, as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time today, the number of cases of COVID-19 reported worldwide now more than 27,300,000. The top 3 countries with reported positive cases: the United States, more than 6.3 million. India, now in second place, more than 4.2 million. Brazil drops to third place, reports more than 4.1 million people infected with the virus since the pandemic began. Now, sadly, more than 890,000 people worldwide have succumbed to this virus. The top 3 countries with the reported COVID-19 deaths: the United States. The infection has claimed the lives of more than 189,000 Americans. Brazil has more than 114,000 COVID-19 deaths. And India, more than 71,000 people have died from the virus. Our coverage begins now. The racial protests continue on several fronts in the United States. Portland, Oregon has been dealing with nightly protests, some of them very violent, for more than 100 days now. On the other side of the country, in Rochester, New York, racial justice activists protested the death of Daniel Prude. Now, Prude was the black man who died in March after officers placed a hood on his head, pinned him to the ground as they detained him. He suffocated. The mayor of Rochester, Lovely Warren, talked about the protests and the intentions of the protesters.
Over the last few nights, we have seen righteous anger and heartfelt protest from many residents of our community. I know the vast majority of the people that have taken to our streets do so with pure hearts, good intentions to ensure tragedies like the death of Mr. Prude never happen again.
Warren adds that she's not going to let Prude's death be forgotten.
My solemn duty as the mayor of this city to honor Mr. Prude, to not let his death be in vain, and to do everything possible to transform how we police our city, to truly protect and serve our residents.
Hundreds gathered in Rochester for a 5th consecutive night of protests. But in contrast to what is happening in Portland, the demonstration last night here was peaceful. Police in riot gear stood outside the city's public safety building, but did not engage with the protesters. New York's Attorney General has promised a grand jury will investigate Prude's death. Local media report that an autopsy ruled the death a homicide caused by complications of asphyxia during the physical restraint. Meanwhile, the man shot in the back 7 times by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin, spoke from his hospital bed. Jacob Blake had a message for people who support him.
I just want to say, man, to all the young cats out there, and even the older ones, older than me, it's a lot more life to live out here, man. your life, and not only just your life, your legs, something that you need to move around and move forward in life, could be taken from you like this, man. And I promise you, the type that you will go through, staples, I got staples in my back, staples in my stomach. You do not want to have to deal with this, man. 24 hours, every 24 hours, it's pain, it's nothing but pain. It hurts to breathe, it hurts to sleep, it hurts to move from side to side, it hurts to eat. Please, I'm telling you, change our lives out there. We can stick together, make some money, make everything easier for our people out here, man, because there's so much time that has been wasted.
Blake is paralyzed from the waist down. This video message was released by his lawyer. It's been viewed more than 400,000 times on Twitter. Well, do you like hot pot? And how about enjoying hot pot while staying cool? Well, in the central Chinese city of Chongqing, an enterprising restaurateur came up with this idea. Tourists can escape hot temperatures while sharing a hot pot in a swimming pool. Here you can see them enjoying their food while keeping cool in an ice bucket at the pool. Maybe something like that could be tried in a place like Arizona, Nevada. Number of hot spots in the U.S. Hot spots, hot pots. What do you think? Still to come, we'll hear from Eagle News correspondents in Washington, D.C., Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, I should say, and Union Township, New Jersey. This is Eagle News America.
The New Era University, in its 45th year of excellence, discipline, and service to humanity, will offer online education at all levels beginning this first semester academic year 2020 to 2021 through the NEU Virtual Learning Environment, or NEU VLE. New Era University offers a complete basic education cycle from kindergarten up to senior high school, offering all strands. NEU has 18 colleges, and 2 graduate schools. It also offers ALS and ETF. Best of all, NEU has the most affordable tuition fees among private universities in the Philippines. NEU is at Quezon City, the city of San Fernando, Pampanga, General Santos City, South Cotabato, Lipa City, Batangas, and Pinugay, Baras, Rizal. New Era University is under the stewardship of Dr. Dilo L. Rosas. What are you waiting for? Be part of the new normal. Enroll now. Classes start on October 5, 2020.
The search for the best continues! Tagisan ng Galing Part 2 is now accepting audition entries. Kung ikaw ay 21 to 59 years old at may angking galing sa pagkanta, mapa-solo, duet, trio o banda man, magpadala na ng audition entry. Narito ang mga guidelines. Para makapagpasa ng entry sa singing category, contact Nikki sa 0977-651-9504. Ito na ang pagkakataon mo para maging tagisan ng galing grand winner at manalo ng 2 million pesos. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, i-like ang Tagisan ng Galing Facebook page. Kaya sali na!
You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Thomas I. Likeness. Well, it's Labor Day in the United States and Canada, federal holiday, a day off for many. But for President Donald Trump, White House hopeful Joe Biden, just another day at the office, or I should say on the campaign trail. For more on that story, we're joined live by Eagle News correspondent in Washington, Imelin Ramos. Imelin, what have the two candidates been up to today?
Hi, Tom. Happy Labor Day, first and foremost.
Happy Labor Day to you too.
Well, they are getting busy here, Tom, as today in Washington, D.C., it was a beautiful sunny day with a high of 84 degrees. Many people today, including myself and my family, enjoyed the holiday. Politics, however, did not take a holiday. The race for the White House is entering the final sprint, and in less than 2 months, America will be voting for their next president. Today, Democratic nominee Joe Biden headed to Pennsylvania, where he met with leaders of the AFL-CIO trade union, or the American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organizations. Former Vice President Biden expressed concerns over U.S. President Donald Trump's undermining of public confidence, which he believes could lead to people being skeptical of taking an efficient vaccine when one is ready. Let's take a look.
One of the problems is the way he's playing with politics is he's said so many things that aren't true. I'm worried if we do have a really good vaccine, people are going to be reluctant to take it. And so he's undermining public confidence. But pray God we have it. If I could get a vaccine tomorrow, I'd do it. If it cost me the election, I'd do it. We need a vaccine, and we need it now, as quick as we can get it. But we have to listen to the scientists.
His running mate, Kamala Harris, went to Wisconsin and is expected to meet with the family of Jacob Blake, whose shooting by police led to widespread protests and rioting last month. Vice President Mike Pence, like Kamala Harris, also headed to Wisconsin, which marked the first time that both vice presidential candidates have spoken in the same state on the same day. Wisconsin has become an electoral battleground and could be crucial in winning the electoral vote on Election Day. President Donald J. Trump, on the other hand, held a surprise news conference today from the White House. He wasted no time criticizing the former vice president. Let's take a look.
Biden and his very liberal running mate, the most liberal person in Congress, by the way, is not a competent person, in my opinion, would destroy this country and would destroy this economy, should immediately apologize for the reckless anti-vaccine rhetoric that they are talking right now.
The election is in its final stretch, and as of September 6th, the Real Clear Politics national poll average has Joe Biden at 49.7 to Trump's 42.8. However, as history has shown, polls can change, and in the U.S., it's the Electoral College that is the determining factor. So, anything can happen. As I mentioned earlier, Biden traveled to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania also remains a battleground state. President Trump captured Pennsylvania in 2016 by only a narrow majority of 44,000 votes. Recent polls suggest the race will be close in Pennsylvania, though nationally, Biden maintains the lead. Politics aside, let's not forget that today is Labor Day. The president issued a proclamation for this Labor Day, and I think many can agree on his message about the workers in the United States. In his proclamation, he recognizes and celebrates the workers of the United States. He says, quote, "Since the founding of our nation, American workers have deployed their talents to build beautiful cities, develop new technologies, and shape the global economy." He went on to proclaim how the workers have done a great job during this unprecedented time and how vital workers were important to the supply chain that makes essential goods and medications accessible to all Americans. So again, happy Labor Day, and thank you to all the essential workers and frontliners out there who have risked their lives and have allowed us to maintain our way of life. In Washington, D.C., I'm Malin Bondoc Ramos, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Tom.
I'm Malin. Just a couple of things. I want to just get your thoughts on the vaccine. If it should somehow appear before Election Day, would you yourself be willing to take it, given, all the rhetoric about politics, not science, is driving the development of it?
I think I will be skeptical about it, Tom. I'm going to think about that more because
there's so much chatter about it. Just so much chatter about it.
I agree because I know, I believe that I have read from before that it should be finished by the end of the year or even early next year. But since, well, yeah.
Yeah, you got to wonder. Now, being that you're in Washington, it's Labor Day, big day for working people, federal holiday. Could you give us a little bit of history about how this celebration started? What's it all about? When did it start? Just fill us in.
Yes, Tom. To be honest, I always thought of Labor Day as just a holiday where we get to take a day off from work and maybe enjoy a good barbecue depending on the weather. But, as I learned, Labor Day started in the late 1800s. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, Labor Day is the first Monday in September and is dedicated to the social and economic achievements of the American worker. Its roots started as early as 1885, but it was in 1894 when Congress passed an act making the first Monday in September of each year a federal holiday. Well, if ever there's a time to recognize the labors of Americans, I think it's today during this pandemic. Wouldn't you agree, Tom?
I would agree. And what did you do for Labor Day?
Oh, pretty interesting question. We woke up early to go to the playground with our little ones. We are very much aware of the crowd. That's why we went there early. And of course, I left my kids and husband to enjoy the weather and the playground while there was no one there. And I went to our local grocery store to enjoy shopping undisturbed. But there was a pretty long line. Still, there was a pretty long line just to go inside the store, but it was worth it. I enjoyed it. And then we just went back home and just had a delivery, pizza delivery. So it was a nice Labor Day to spend with family. Tom.
That sounds good. Thank you for your report. There's help out there for out of work Pennsylvanians, and joining us live now, Eagle News correspondent Mila Simbulan. She tells us that eligible workers may receive a weekly benefit of up to $300. Mila, how does this program work?
Thanks, Tom. Pennsylvania will complete implementation of the Federal Lost Wages Assistance, or what we call LWA. It's a program ahead of schedule and will begin making payments to eligible individuals on Thursday, September 10. Individuals who apply and qualify will begin receiving their payments as early as Monday, September 14. This program is a replacement for the extra $600 under the FPUC or Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation Program. Here's Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry Secretary Jerry Oleksiak to tell us more about it. Take a look.
Everybody who is currently receiving unemployment, with very few exceptions, will qualify for that benefit. You must be receiving a minimum of $100 in unemployment compensation benefits to receive that extra $300.
The federal government requires that only individuals who are fully or partially unemployed due to COVID-19 disruptions may apply for this benefit. To qualify for the extra $300, the LWA program also requires that eligible individuals must have a benefit rate and dependence allowance totaling $100 or more per week in benefits, and must receive a benefit payment for each week from one of the following qualifying programs: regular unemployment compensation, or UC, pandemic emergency unemployment compensation, or PEUC, pandemic unemployment assistance, or PUA, and Pennsylvania extended benefits, EB, shared work or short-time compensation, and trade readjustment allowances. Here's Jerry Oleksiak again to tell us more about it. Take a look.
If you are receiving unemployment compensation benefits, the traditional benefits, then you will have to certify that your employment status has been impacted. You can do that on uc.pa.gov/cert, CERT, to certify that you are indeed impacted by the virus.
Individuals who may qualify for LWA but have not yet received payment for an approved week from a qualifying program should still apply as soon as possible. At the time benefits are paid from a qualifying program to an individual for any of the approved dates, the LWA payment will follow 1 week later if the individual has already completed the LWA certification. In Spartanburg, Pennsylvania, Mila Simbulan, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Thomas.
Mila, how long is this program going to last, and do you think it'll be enough to keep people going?
So, Thomas, this is a really good question. This program runs through, this is a temporary LWA program. It runs through December 27 or until the federal until the federal funds are depleted. This will also depend on Congress and Senate, of course, if they decide to extend this program. But in Pennsylvania, they will make public announcements as soon as the final payment date is known. Thomas?
Is $300 a week really helpful? It just doesn't seem like a whole lot.
That's true, Thomas, but I believe this is in addition to the unemployment benefits that the people are getting. But then those who will qualify for this program are only those who are affected by the pandemic. So if you're unemployed and your unemployment is not caused by the COVID-19 or this pandemic, you will not be eligible for $300 per week.
So it is kind of a top-up then. Yeah, that sounds like it might work out. Thank you for your report. In New Jersey, Eagle News correspondent Carlo Valdez tells us about a police officer who died hours after jumping into a river during a police chase.
Thanks, Thomas. A New Jersey police officer is now dead hours after trying to rescue the suspect during the police chase. Bridgeton, New Jersey police officer Sean Peak died Sunday after trying to pull the suspect from the Cohansey River. He died at home and the cause of death is still pending autopsy. Sean Peak, 49, of Millville, New Jersey, and a 15-year veteran of the force, was found unresponsive by his family members at his home on Sunday, according to Bridgeton Police Chief Michael A. Gaimari Sr. Sean made a decision, as would any officer, and entered the water in an attempt to pull the person from running waters, no matter what the circumstances, the police chief said. The woman eventually made it across the river, but Officer Peak had difficulty making it back to shore as he was still donning all of his equipment and gear. He also said other responding officers helped pull Peak from the water and they were able to capture the suspect, Sarah Jean Davis, 29, of Canton, Connecticut. Peak leaves behind a wife and child. No funeral services have been arranged as of Monday morning for the fallen officer. And as for coronavirus stats and numbers, New Jersey reports of 344 new positive COVID-19 cases, pushing the total to 194,390. Sadly, New Jersey is reporting 2 more COVID-19 deaths, pushing the total to 14,208 lives lost. In Union Township, New Jersey, Carlo Valdez, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you.
Up next, we'll have reports from Las Vegas, Nevada, and Santa Clarita, California. Eagle News America continues.
Do you want to earn a degree while you work? New Era University now offers Expanded Tertiary Education Equivalency and Accreditation Program, or ETIAP. ETIAP is an educational scheme that recognizes knowledge, skills, and prior learning obtained by individuals from non-formal and informal education experiences. It is implemented through deputized higher educational institutions like the New Era University that awards the appropriate degrees. Programs offered are the following. Master's Program, Masters of Arts in Education, major in Educational Management, Master's Program in Business Administration, Bachelor of Arts in Science, major in Political Science, Bachelor of Arts in Science, major in Mass Communication, Bachelor of Science in Education, major in Filipino, major in English, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with majors in Human Resources Development, Marketing Management, and Financial Management. Beneficiaries must be Filipinos who have attained at least high school level of education. The program is flexible and you don't need to attend regular classes. Expanded Tertiary Education Equivalency and Accreditation Program, or ETIAP, is under the supervision of Dr. Nilo L. Rosas, the University President, and Professor Anita P. Santos, Director of ETIAP. For more information, contact the following. Cristina Moreno, 0995-138-0786, or email cvmoreno@neu.edu.ph, or Arlene Sarmiento, 0906-298-9150, or email cedctl@neu.edu.ph. What are you waiting for? Let New Era University be your partner in achieving your dreams.
This is Eagle News America. I'm Thomas I. Likeness. Well, one of the keys to controlling the spread of any infectious disease is the ability to trace people who may have come into contact with an infected person. Eagle News correspondent Lori Jarvina reports that the state of Nevada has another weapon in its arsenal to fight COVID-19, a contact tracing app.
Thank you, Thomas. Governor Steve Sisolak has emphasized countless of times the importance of testing and contact tracing to help mitigate the spread of COVID-19. In response, Nevada's Department of Health and Human Services, DHHS, has launched COVID Trace, a digital contact tracing app designed to slow the spread of COVID-19. Other states have also launched similar apps, but the difference with the Nevada app is that it uses Bluetooth technology to check phones in close proximity of those associated with positive COVID-19 cases to notify users of potential exposure. The app is free to download on both iOS and Android phones. Although voluntary, the DHHS strongly recommends that everyone downloads the app and uses it. The goal is to use every tool at our disposal to help flatten the curve. So how does it work? Once you opt in, the exposure notification system will generate a random ID for your device. What about privacy? Well, these random IDs are said to change every 10 to 20 minutes to make sure they can't be used to identify you or your location. Then, your phone will exchange your random ID with others you come in contact with who also have the app. If you test positive, the health department will issue you a unique code to upload into your app. Then the app will send a notification to all those you've had an exchange of random IDs with in the last 4 days. No personal information will be shared, just a notification that they came into contact with someone who tested positive. If you receive a notification that you've been exposed to someone who tested positive, the app will notify you with further instructions from the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services on how to keep you and the people around you safe. As I've mentioned, other states have developed their own app using the same technology, and the goal is to have a national repository for the data to be shared between the states, but there's no proof that that is happening now. Manual contact tracing continues, of course, and remains a necessity. In addition to contact tracing, Las Vegas continues in their efforts to increase testing by conducting easy, free, and convenient drive-through testing through September 18th. This is part of their approved action plan, as Clark County continues to be on the list of counties meeting 2 out of 3 criteria for being a hotspot for COVID-19 cases. Before I let you go, Thomas, here are our latest COVID-19 statistics. As of 9:30 this morning Pacific Standard Time on September 7th, 2020, Nevada has a total of over 71,900 cases. The total number of deaths has now reached 1,393. Sadly, 1,205 of that number accounts for the number of deaths in Clark County, where Las Vegas is located. Although the state's overall positivity rate is down to 6.3%, Clark County's positivity rate is at 11.5%. In Las Vegas, I'm Lori Jarvina, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Thomas.
In California, a heat wave continues to fuel the wildfires that are chewing their way through much of the states. In California, Eagle News correspondent Jessica Soto is standing by. Jessica, I understand one of those fires was started by fireworks set off at a gender reveal party.
You are correct, Thomas. So, according to law enforcement, a gender reveal party is the cause behind the El Dorado fire in Southern California. The fire, which started a little before 10:30 a.m. on September 5, has quickly grown to over 7,300 acres, and as of this morning is only about 7% contained. Roughly 75 miles east of Los Angeles, this fire erupted at El Dorado Park in Yucaipa, when a smoke-generating pyrotechnic device was used for a couple's baby gender reveal. However, with the extreme weather and dry conditions, one couple's day of celebration instead turned into a race to protect lives and property. Officials ordered the evacuation of the Oak Glen, Yucaipa Ridge, Mountain Home Village, and Forest Falls communities and issued an evacuation warning for the Yucaipa Bench area. Temporary evacuation sites at the Yucaipa Community Center, Steel Canyon High School, and Joan McQueen Middle School have been set up. But with smoke and fire serving as a backdrop in the mountains behind some of these sites, evacuees remain ready to leave in a hurry if necessary. This isn't the first time that a baby gender reveal has ignited a wildfire, and during what is now considered fire season, the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection reminds everyone that it takes very little to start a wildfire. They further warn that those found to be responsible for starting fires because of negligence or illegal activity can face criminal charges and can also be sent the bill for the cost of damages and services used. Just taking into consideration the financial implications of the vast resources utilized for the El Dorado fire is staggering. 4 helicopters, 60 fire engines, 10 dozers, 10 water tenders, 10 crews, and over 500 personnel are involved in battling this blaze. That's a massive firefighting deployment that undoubtedly also comes with a hefty restitution. Now moving on, the COVID-19 update here in Los Angeles County, according to the Public Health Department, the number of newly reported cases in the county today is 494 and 25 new deaths. The total number of confirmed cases is now 248,821, with 6,030 deaths and 943 current hospitalizations. In Santa Clarita, California, Jessica Soto, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Thomas.
Jessica, you mentioned something called a water tender. What kind of piece of equipment for firefighting is that?
You know, Thomas, I had to look up what a water tender is, and it's actually a vehicle. Think of a big truck with a tanker in the back. Water tenders carry water to the scene of a fire, whether it be an urban or forest location, Thomas.
Okay. Now, I remember when baby gender reveals meant baking a cake. You know, pink frosting for a girl, blue for a boy. Are these days of simple and safe gender reveals a thing of the past? I mean, this is totally ridiculous. Firework?
All I can tell you is that there doesn't seem to be any signs that gender reveals using colored smoke is on the decline. Like what we mentioned in the report, this isn't the first time a wildfire started because of devices using some kind of explosive component. And so in some cases, the idea that bigger is better doesn't always ring true, Thomas.
And it's, once again, I guess, proof that common sense ain't so common. Before you go, I got to ask you, what did you do for Labor Day out there? I understand it's pretty hot. If it were me, I'd be looking for air conditioning.
Luckily, we do have air conditioning where we live. And, all we did today was just spend time with the family and, go outside just a little bit, practicing social distancing, practicing the necessary precautions to get that fresh air. But then, other than that, home-cooked meals and just spending time together.
Sounds like a great time for Labor Day. That's what it's all about, a break for laborers.
Definitely.
Thank you for your report. Coming up, we'll take you for a walk, and after you've worked up an appetite, we'll show you how to make a tasty treat. You're watching Eagle News America.
Ein sonniger Tag heute hier in Berlin vor dem Bundestag. Ich bin Irene Juliet Arzadon und möchte diese Gelegenheit nutzen, um ein paar Worte mit euch zu teilen. An alle Menschen da draußen. In dieser Zeit lasst uns nicht vergessen, den Menschen zu danken, die ihr Leben für uns opfern. Sei es die Menschen, die im Krankenhaus arbeiten, in den Altenheimen sowie in den Arztpraxen, aber auch an die Menschen, die im Lebensmittelhandel sich befinden. Die Kassierer. Manchmal reicht es aus, um ihnen ein freundliches Lächeln zu geben. Denn die Menschen, die heute am Arbeiten sind, weil sie nicht so wie einige von uns zu Hause bleiben können, die sollten wir wertschätzen. Ihnen sollten wir unseren Dank ausrichten. Darum lasst uns noch mehr zusammenhalten. Sie wertschätzen.
This is Eagle News America. I'm Thomas I. Likeness. Well, it's still warm. Hitting the hiking trails is just a great way to unwind, take your mind off the stress. Wish I could do that tonight. Well, tonight we'll actually get to revisit a trail in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and learn the benefit of nature walks. And as well, we get to tag along with a family's scenic walk in Lake Mead National Recreation Area. That's in Nevada. Our tour guides for these two relaxing experiences, Eagle News correspondents Elise Danielle and Lanny Valdecantos. So put on your hiking boots.
As John Muir puts it, in every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks. Join me today on a nature walk here in Seneca Green Road Trail in Gaithersburg, Maryland. According to psychologytoday.com, nature walks benefit people by, number 1, providing reprieve from the noise that taxes our sensitive nerves. Number 2, taking a walk by yourself rewards you with peace of only your own thoughts. Number 3, natural elements have been said to absorb negative energy. Number 4, walking boosts endorphins that improve your mood and lower stress. Number 5, it is in calm, quiet, reflective state where creativity can flourish. Now that pandemic restrictions are easing, enjoying outdoor activities like perhaps walking is perfect, especially during the summer. Just be mindful of other hikers or bikers in the trail and practice social distancing. Wear your protective face covering too when crossing paths with others. One of the things I, as a nature walker, look forward to every time I visit the trail is the chance to imagine that I'm at an art gallery with tons of paintings around me. And it's all up to me how to frame each one of them in my mind. And this is the best reward, a calming scene to end your hike before you go back to the hustle and bustle of life as usual. Congratulations to us. We have just completed a 2.5-mile nature walk without breaking a sweat. Well, maybe a little. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, health is wealth. In Gaithersburg, Maryland, Elise Danielle, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Hi guys, it's a beautiful day here in Nevada, and living in such a vibrant place like Las Vegas, it's easy to overlook some of the hidden gems that we have surrounding our city. So I got the family up and we're gonna go out of our comfort zone, take a scenic walk, and hopefully learn a little bit of history.
We decided to take a short drive to Lake Mead National Recreation Area to get some much-needed fresh air and exercise while being on quarantine for several weeks now due to COVID-19. We chose the popular historic Railroad Pass, where we can pass through man-made tunnels and still practice social distancing in our small group of friends of less than 10, and also use this opportunity for pictures, keeping 6 feet apart. The Hoover Dam, which is a man-made industrial wonder, was constructed in 1931 with the help of a network of railroads that worked on these very paths to transport materials to the dam. The multicolored rocky landscape around Lake Mead has so much history. These lands were once reconfigured by earthquakes, blasts of volcanoes, to even once being submerged by oceans and lakes. On the slope below are broken concrete plugs that were once used as placeholders on the floor of the Hoover Dam. The remnants of the plugs were left as a reminder from that particular moment in time. With the beautiful scenery, we approached the first tunnel. The desert heat didn't make the digging of these tunnels any easy. Hard volcanic rock, pounding jackhammers, swirling clouds of dust and sand was the image here back in 1931. Workers on round-the-clock shifts completed this government project in just 5 months. Wow, these tunnels were huge and amazing at 25 feet in diameter and 300 feet in length, which makes for another great picture spot. Walking through these tunnels was pretty cool, and I imagined how these tunnels once had trains running through them.
Everyone look out for bats.
Yes, these tunnels are also a popular spot for the Mexican-free tail bats, where they migrate here every year and hang out in the tunnels. Thankfully, we didn't see any of them today. Some of the tunnels were reinforced with timber framework to prevent fractured rocks from falling onto the rail cars and workers. Unfortunately, a fire in 1990 destroyed the original timbers, but the National Park Service stabilized the tunnels and restored the timber. So we got through 3 out of the 5 tunnels when we decided to head back. We'll definitely revisit and do the entire 7.5-mile round trip next time. For now, with all the uncertainty going on in this world, I hope this inspires you to do what matters most. With the suggested social distancing, you can still go out there, spend quality time with family, and make some quarantine memories. In Las Vegas, Lonnie Valdecantos, we live in interesting times.
Well, all that walking, I'm hungry now. But we'll have to wait until tomorrow for the dessert, and that's when we'll visit Ileana's outdoor kitchen. Before we leave, on behalf of the Eagle News America team, we wish to greet the Executive Minister of the Church of Christ, Father Eduardo V. Manello, a happy 11th anniversary of dynamic leadership. And let us continue to thank our healthcare workers, our first responders, essential workers. Let's give them a round of applause. We appreciate you. And that's today's Eagle News America. Thank you for joining us. I'm Thomas I. Likeness. We live in interesting times.
Established 1975, rising in the list of top-performing universities in the country, a pioneer in inclusive education and an institution with a dynamic education in response to societal needs. With already 5 campuses throughout the country, this is the New Era University. These are the programs offered in the branches outside of Metro Manila, starting off with the New Era University, Pampanga branch. This is the first branch outside of Metro Manila and now offers complete basic education, K-12 and collegiate programs. For the basic education, preschool, nursery, kinder, elementary, grades 1 to 6,